Okay, so here we are. We got some bolts through there. These ones don't have the nut at the end, right? Because you gotta take the ceiling down. And then we get some bolts here, which go through a fourth beam that holds up the rest of the house on the other side, which I will go around and have a look at. So 2 different parts of the house. That was the old, this was actually the garage. So this is the old part of the house. And this is the new part of the house. I mean, new as in the last 50 years.
And surprise wiring?
Yeah.
And surprise wiring there?
So this, hard to see, but there's another 2x6 that comes down below this one here. This is the one that holds up the whole second story of the house, which don't really know how that was possible. Well, so this one's holding that one up, and it's bolted to the triple header, which of course has jack posts and
these
structure.
Floor joists are supposed to go in the wall, through the wall on the other side, and overlap this that's here, but it's not. They actually stop just short of where the wall was here. That's why this thing is sitting here. Yeah, to keep these up.
They hold up all the joists, and then that is only
too short.
And that is only being held up by what, there was a board or something on the other side holding that in place.
Yeah.
So now there's this 2x6 bolted to this other triple header.
Yeah, it was held in place by nails.
GJ was hammering the bolts in that section on the other side. There was a 2x6 here that is now outside, I guess, is it? It started to fall down. Yeah, it was right there, just underneath that 2x4 that's holding up some, well, we think that's the wall of the bathroom upstairs. I'm not sure why it's lower than the wall of the library beside it.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But there was one nail here holding it in place and lots of spray foam.
You see these?
Yeah, I saw
someone had glorious ideas of actually nailing this into something.
Yeah, they were going to nail it into something.
Which is kind of cool considering that they gouged this out.
Yeah. They just forgot to slam the nails in once they had the 2x6 up there.
This is about the worst piece of
lumber
I've seen.
There's holes in it and it's gouged out everywhere.
But anyway, we saw a piece of plywood that is sitting up.
Holding those 2x4s together up above.
This is not coming down.
Right. That just fell off as we were as he was putting the bolts that were in that short section. He put the bolts through. He wants to take down a piece of the ceiling to put the nut on the back of that bolt. So he's going to take that jack post down now, and I just thought I'd get the camera for the...
for the unveiling?
Unveiling. That's a good word for it. So now
really tighten this in.
Now it's really being held up by, well, that triple header for one. Although the triple header on that corner is only being held up by that 2x4 at the moment. That jack post was still over there, or something... We're thinking of a 6x6. And then notch out the corner of it so it kind of encapsulates that, a nice piece of lumber.
You want to hear the house settling? You hear it?
I heard that. Way down here.
Yeah, I really tightened it. There we go. It's loose. Well, it's not falling down.
Excellent. Good work, honey.
When I cut all the studs, it turned out it was really supported by only one of them. And when I cut that one and I pushed up against it, it broke.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was stressed out.
This was a good timing thing, I think, to get this one done.
The stove arrives in 2 days, and right now I don't have a wall to put a gas hookup in to put the stove against.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so we put this board up because we got to move these electrical wires back here a little further, and that board was kind of encasing them. And we saw the gas line, which is interesting because that's not where the barbecue. I wonder if that goes to the other fireplace that was there. They can use that gas line. Why is there an outlet right there?
Yeah. So that's what that BX is coming into.
So what? And is that an actual outlet, or is that just a junction box?
No, it's one of those, another one of those hidden things. Ugh.
And lots of rodent yuck in there.
Lots of debris here, yeah.
And everything else. Yuck. Okay, you're gonna clean that up.
Sure.
We have an issue with scope creep in this house.
I think I warned you about that.
Open concept, now extra open. Right to the crawl space. or in our case, to the stair. There's actually a cement step under there, L shape even. Kind of has an L that goes this way.
But the nice thing, normally you can't do this.
Yeah, you don't drop 6 feet. You could literally take a step down.
Yeah.
But we want to put some reinforcement under here for the stove. And this wood was really like water damaged over there and in bad shape. So I thought, well, let's rip it up. We can easily get to the reinforcement. Put a new piece of 4x8 down and call it a day. When our AUG is going to run parallel with the floor joists. So probably only majority is going to be on that one and probably a little bit on that one. So they mentioned putting cross braces, a third in and a third in. So really just under those two. And because the cement step is right there, it just has to tuck in maybe a 2x6 on its end or something like that. Just to give an extra bit of rigidity.
I think there's 2x8s underneath there right now, so it'll probably fit really well.
Perfect. So we put this floor on over top of the parquet because the parquet was in bad shape, and this is a way to have a nice new floor without ripping up the parquet. However, under the parquet was the original hardwood floor, which the boards go that way, and under that is the original subfloor, which GJ is sitting on, and the subfloor. We're ripping all that out when we redo the kitchen, and we're putting 1/4 inch down everywhere to make it all new on top. So whatever's going on with the party sitting on, it'll be covered with 1/4 inch fresh stuff, because that'll be when we put a nice hardwood floor on the top, and it will, you know, when we get all the floor at the same level and we're done all the other mess, then we're gonna do the flooring, which is probably not gonna be about March or something like that. It's gonna be a little while before that flooring gets done. Everything else has to be done first, obviously. We need a floor, starting with the floor, and then the walls and cupboards, and we have lots more demolition to do here. We gotta finish ripping down all the cupboards. In the meantime, we're still living here, and we still have to make this function. So we have a working stove now, although I bought Tim Hortons for dinner tonight, don't tell anyone. And maybe I'll be cooking something tomorrow night, maybe not. It really depends on the shape of this room. We're using the sink in the laundry room for the dishes, and I got paper plates. So that helps a lot. And who knows, tomorrow night could be pizza for something. There's a lot of stuff going on here without having to be worried about cooking dinner right now. Take out the rest of the plumbing. There will be water in the new wall for the pot filler sink, but there's no drain. So, and it's on the other side of the foundation. So the water's probably going to come from the washing machine, because that's also on the same side of the foundation. So this is the original foundation wall for the original part of the house. That's the crawl space for the additional part of the house. That is the original exterior wall of the house. On the other side is the laundry room we just did. That has water over there. So it can easily tap into the water from the washing machine, come straight down here, up the new wall, and we can have a pot filler faucet, no problem at all. Well, one thing about taking your whole house apart, you find all, and I mean all, the problems and the things they didn't do correctly, like having the whole second floor of the house resting on one 2x4, which was kind of nuts.
It snapped off in my hand.
Which broke off on his hands, and then when he was breaking off the rest of that 2x4, which was here, he was ripping it out of this gap. That part he's sitting on, that beam, lifted right off the floor. It's actually not attached to anything. It's just sitting on, well, the concrete foundation, I guess. I hope.
Yeah, it's not like it's gonna drop.
It's not gonna go further down, but it's actually not screwed into anything. You can lift it up. Okay, GJ has reinforced underneath that old floor where the stove is gonna go, and he put the floor back down to put his sawhorses up to cut the new floor here, and then he'll take it all back up and put that floor down. And yeah, should be lots of fun here. He has this piece in 2 pieces, one for the electrical, one that he could pull back up for the gas. If the gas fitter wants to use that line, the floor won't be attached, so you can easily just divert it into where the stove is going to be. Or if he doesn't want to use that gas line, we'll just screw that piece back down and we'll be all set. Also, we're going to cut this so it doesn't cover the whole distance, because he noticed that when he looked at the wall there, it's not insulated and it's cold, so he wants to be able to pull a piece back out of that, redo the insulation after when we get more time, and then just screw that back down. So he's not using the full piece, he's going to cut it so that it fits. Okay. So here we are. This is the reinforcement under each of those joists, because the stove will cover, probably not the first one, it's going to be in a little bit probably in that one and that one. And of course that's a concrete step that used to be here. It's actually L-shaped. And you can see holes where a railing was here. And you can't see, but there's another hole there, so some sort of railing was that way. And then it's just all insulation and junk down the crawl space there. And you don't have a lot of room to maneuver underneath there, but he's able to get, what, two 2x4s flat, and then one 2x4 on its end there, like real old-fashioned 2x4s. And on this side it's about a 2x8. There's about an 8-inch gap there between the concrete step and the floor joist. So that stove is on something pretty solid. And now we have to put the floor back down. He cut a new piece of 1/2-inch plywood to go on top. And then we have a 1/4-inch piece here that we're going to use to smooth over the whole thing and bring it up to, actually the 1/2-inch brings it to the level of the subfloor, which is those boards. And then we're going to rip up that old floor and the parquet, and of course there's only a few pieces of those tiles left, and then that 1/4-inch will cover the whole kitchen when we redo the whole floor there. It's about 16-inch drop down there. It's not wouldn't be the nicest fall you'd want to have, especially if you didn't quite make the step and hit over here. Actually, how far down does that go? Do you know? Have you stuck anything down there to see how far that insulation?
Well, the first step goes this way.
Oh yeah, there's another step right there, so it's like whatever 8 inches down.
Here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 4 or 5 steps here.
Oh, okay, the steps are going like this.
They go that way, yeah.
Okay. We are not quite sure exactly how this worked. So we cut the board in half because, like I said, over there that wall's not insulated, and we want to take this up and fix that up later. We just don't have time at the moment because the stove arrives tomorrow, and this will be where the stove sits. And we had to redo some electrical there, so we had to pull that board up, pull the electrical back a bit because it went underneath there anyway, notched out that hole because that will be where the wall goes across. So right now we're focusing on where the stove is going to go so that the wall can be built and the stove can be installed tomorrow. We'll throw the other piece of plywood on the opening there with a few screws, and then we can pull it back up later and then re-insulate when we have a little bit more time. Right now we just are in a bit of a time crunch for the stove arriving tomorrow sometime afternoon. And it's 3 o'clock on Sunday. Don't get a lot of time left to build a wall, which is going to be a concrete board and steel studs. Concrete board's leaning against the oven right now. Steel studs are somewhere in the sunroom somewhere. And getting rid of all the wood and stuff to make space, and get the dishwasher packed away somewhere, and just kind of get everything out of the way so we can get to where the stove goes, and the plumbing for the sink that was there, and whatever we're going to do to cover up the hole in the floor when the plumbing's gone. This I wanted to mention was that the floor did not come with 4 joist hangers. See? None of them there. So what GJ has redone, he's put one there, I guess 2 more I think there is there. So that will give it a lot more support.
I put in 4. I have 2 more to do. Well, that one actually is standing on something, so just 1 more.
Yeah. So just to give it a little bit more structure. And again, this is where the stove goes, where the notch is, that's where the wall's going to go across here. And then right to the edge of where the countertop ends right there. So that's where the wall will end. That'll be 36 inches this way. And then whatever distance this way so that we can at least have, I think we figure we're going to have a 36-inch opening that we'll be able to walk into the kitchen from over here. There won't be a wall at this end, it's just going to be a cupboard. So there'll be a wall here, cupboard, stove, cupboard with no wall at the end. The wall will come across the back. So what you'll see from the door side is you'll see a wall here, a wall going that way. And then because this is our entryway and we like to build cubbies for all the kids' coats and boots and stuff, that'll come this way. And I don't know how many we're going to be able to fit, but hopefully we can get 7. There's always needs to be 7 people in this house. Maybe at 14 inches wide each or something like that. However many we can fit in there. And then this new wall, I got dry erase paint. And I'm gonna put dry erase paint on this one and do like a calendar. So when you're coming in the house, you can see this massive calendar on the wall here to see exactly what's happening in our house. And then probably on this side, which is where our coats are hanging now, this will probably be a mirror with a little shelf with hairbrushes and stuff like that. So when you're about to head out the door or whatever, or you come in, you're a bit wind blowing from the door, then you can actually just clean yourself up a little bit there before you walk around the corner and make your entrance into the kitchen. So yeah, we're working on it. It's a labor of love.